Hello there. What is going on, everyone? We have got some pretty cool stuff. Let me switch over to the triple critical view. I kind of got ahead of myself a little bit because we've got some things to talk about. Probably wondering why this is a little different than we normally do. Where did the extra critical come from? Well, I'll tell you. Costs have gone up. Prices are going up across the board. Everything's going up, whether it's shipping containers, whether it's the price of cardboard and paper, the cost of plastics is going up. Well, we've got to compensate to match. So we're also increasing the critical output of this show. That's why we're triple critical tonight. Oh yeah. So for all of you triple criticals out there, I don't even know what that means. I've never really dubbed anybody a triple critical, but if you'd like to be, you're more than welcome to be. Glenlivet Founders Reserve tonight. So we're going to be talking about, well, we got mini Stravaganza coming up. We got a couple of people in chat joining us tonight. So what's going on to everybody? How you guys doing? I see we've got Timothy, Aaron, Brian, and Jason in chat so far. How you guys? I hope you guys are having a good time tonight. If you guys are just joining in, be sure to like the video, share it out, tell your friends we're live in case some people weren't aware, because we're going to be talking about the price increases and why I think it's actually a good thing. And that might be an unpopular opinion. What's going on, Peter? How's it going out there in California? Wish you guys could get some rain and put out the fact that your entire state seems like it's on fire. It's just insane. And what's going on, Excubador? That's a tough one. What's going on in Australia? We got Andrew and Kaysen also with us today. What's going on, everybody? So, yeah, we're going to be talking about prices increasing. And you've still got time. You still got time to buy stuff before prices go up. And we also have mini Stravaganza coming up. Mini Stravaganza next week. Next week, the streams all over the place. All over the place. So that is pretty wild. And how many of you guys caught my new video this morning for Drop Fleet Commander? That one's got me kind of excited. I'm out of all the other games I've kind of branched out into, that one has me probably the most excited to get paint on some of these ships and come up with color schemes and start making some fleets and trying to learn this new game and trying to fly them out a little bit too. So that one looks fun. Jason just got home from playing Armada. As a matter of fact, I did today also. And we had a pretty good turnout today at our local one of our local stores. I'm one of these people that's very fortunate to live in a city that has multiple game stores. So we have multiple places that we can play Armada. Today we're playing at Campus Cards and Games 2. Although I used to play a lot more at Sci-Fi City, but Campus Cards and Games 2 is doing a little bit more of the tournament kind of, the little bit more organized play for Armada, and. We got a lot of good folks kind of setting that up. Chandler from Brace for Impact is kind of helping set that up too. He's kind of put that whole thing together, and that's just awesome. So we're really happy to, I'm really happy to be a part of that. And I flew some pretty cool. I ran double onager today, and I did record some of that. So that will be going up pretty soon for patrons. And oh my goodness, I get a little notification on my phone saying, "Hey, dude, tomorrow's a holiday. Would you like to turn off your alarm for tomorrow?" And I said to my phone, "Yes, I absolutely would love to turn off my alarm for tomorrow." Of course, I don't think everybody else will. Let me see. Well, no, I just turned it off. Okay. All right. So let's see. We got more people joining. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. We've got some interesting things. Oh, by the way, if you guys are just joining us, we also have 50% more critical, right? In addition to 50% more critical, we've also got 50% more Crabbok.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up with this guy? What is that? I don't know if we should keep him around. He's there to entertain you while I take a drink. All right, get out of here, man. Get. All right. Anyway, so I apologize for that. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it. Let's jump right into it. So we are going to. I want to turn on. Let's turn this on. There we go. All right. So this is what we're going to be talking about today. Because let's shrink. I'm gonna rearrange some graphics in real time because I don't usually do too many graphics with the live show, but I want to do some graphics here because we had this Asthma Day notice come out, right? So basically, this thing is basically just saying that prices are going to go up starting October 1st for Fantasy Flight games and Atomic Mass games. And this isn't a surprise. If you've been piped in, or if you've heard me talk about it in the past, we have seen that mini Crabbok is terrifying. Those Legion prices are all over the place. Yeah. So basically, costs of everything have been going up. And this isn't just an Asthma Day thing. This is not. This is worldwide. This is everywhere. Costs of everything are going up, and there's good and bad about this. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of stuff has needed to go up. I read something the other day about how they try to keep, like prices like if you look at the cost of like a video game. Like a brand new video game that came out in like 1987 was about, or maybe 1991 or something like that, was like it was like 50 or $60, and now today a brand new game costs the exact same amount, but like if you figure that for inflation or whatever, and it's like they should be charging a lot more for this stuff, and it's weird. It's a really strange thing, but one of the problems right now is it kind of goes back to what Luke Eddy was saying just recently, and I've been talking a little bit about this for games like Armada and X-Wing, they're already expensive to produce, and the costs are going up. But then you figure like they're pre-painted and they come pre-assembled, and that requires a lot of extra work, and that's and that was ultimately why they made that decision to release that memo about why is this game, basically this game Armada is not going to get any new product development anytime soon, and so that's. So that was a big. I mean, obviously, if you've been following my channel for a while, that's not news. But it's weird in that these price increases are not exactly standardized. It's strange to me. I think there's some items have a smaller percentage increase. Some items have a really large percentage increase, and so it's very strange. Like some of the really high items, some of the more expensive items have a huge increase, and then some items have a much smaller increase. It's about probably about 17% across the board. I haven't done all the math, but certain items are probably going to draw more criticism than other items. And Jacob, what's going on, Jacob? So Jacob just sent out something pretty cool. So Jacob, I did get your package, buddy, by the way. So Jacob actually just sent out, he had a spare Imperial Fighter Squadron 2 pack. So this is actually a really nice thing, and he wanted me to maybe use this for a giveaway. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to roll this into one of the 12 Days of Life Day giveaway. So I do appreciate you there, Jacob. So thank you for showing support and helping the effort, because like as I come across things like that, I like to, especially stuff that I'm gonna have to go to the post office and like mail boxes and things like that. I like to have them all done at once. So 12 Days of Life Day, when I do my December giveaways, is a really good opportunity to get all the physical giveaways left over. I still have one. I still have some other stuff that I'll talk more about that when we get closer to December, or at least in November. But yes. Is there anything y'all recommend snapping up for Legion before the price increases hit? I'm looking to break into the hobby. I would say just go check out my what to buy first list. I mean, I think all the new stuff that's coming out. This makes sense as to why they postponed all the new releases until after October. It's because they didn't want, like, the new Wookiees have a really good value in them, and that they're coming up with all these extra, these all the extra cards and cardboard and all of that stuff. So, what is going on back here? I didn't know if I thought the kids were out of bed, like getting into stuff. Sorry about that. Okay. Sorry about that. All right, so no, but so yeah, prices are going up. Prices are going up all across, and I think this is a good thing. And I'll tell you a couple of reasons why. At least for cases like Armada, where a lot of people might have been afraid that Armada was about to be dropped or canceled. I think if a game is getting ready to be canceled, they might have just left it as is. They wouldn't have bothered running through all of this stuff and trying to calculate, because the price. They could just say, all right, everything's doubled in price, and be like, ha 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 ha, But they do a calculated cost increase to what's going to be able to allow them to keep making this game without making it so high that they're afraid that people aren't going to want to buy it anymore. And that's really like the ultimate kind of business kind of suave there, is to try to figure out how much can we charge, that we can still make the game, that we can hopefully still generate a profit, but that we're not going to drive too many people away. Because ultimately there's going to be somebody that's like, well, you know what, this is already an expensive hobby, and maybe now it's too much. And then they throw their hands up and check their hair. Baby, how you feeling? Feeling good as hell. All right. Anyway, no, that's I'm going crazy. It's the whiskey. Is it time? It's time for some more mini crab. All right, 50% more critical, 50% more crab. Here he goes. All right, so let's take a drink while mini crab's out. All right, get lost. All right, so anyway, we're back with mini crab is gone. He might come back later though. All right, so why is it good? It's good because they care about making more of these games. It's good because they're trying to not only make the games profitable but sustainable, and games that are making them profit. Unfortunately, Asmodee is owned by a holdings company, a corporate kind of basically people out to make money, and so these games have to be profitable. And so, while I think it would be great if they were able to just sell these individual studios off to companies that were focused more on making games than on making profit, unfortunately, that's not the way it is right now. So, for the games that we love to be included in basically a price increase that is global, that's good, because what they're not just saying these games are going to cost more, because all games are going to cost more. They're including these to say we're not dropping these games, we're keeping them, we care about these games. And they're going to see the same price increase that all games that will be continued to be supported will make. Even Imperial Assault is on there, and they still print that one. So, yeah. Shipping costs are likely covered by this. Yeah, to be honest with you, I'm surprised the cost increase was only as high as it was. I was expecting it to be more. I was expecting it to be about 30 to 35%, considering all the different things that I've talked to a lot of people in the industry, and we've talked about everything from shipping cost increases to the cost of cardboard and paper and printing to the cost of plastics. Plastics alone have gone up between 15 and 25%. And I'm assuming that has a lot to do with where you get your plastics printed, what kind of plastics they're using. But yeah, plastics have seen pretty significant increases just on their own. Not to mention shipping and having to bid for shipping containers and hoping that your bid gets accepted, and then the timing of everything, and having to maybe have some stuff wait, and maybe not making the bid, and then be like, oh, I guess we'll get this stuff in next month. It makes things impossible to predict. And then, of course, you've got the things like the Suez Canal, which just made matters worse. It took a bad situation and made things completely worse. So, how long were we going to pay people in Asia slave wages and pretend that was fair and ethical? Well, I really don't have a lot of research on that particular topic done, although I did read a book that talked a little bit about some of that one time, and talked about some of the alternatives. If we didn't have factories over there, what would these people some of the alternatives for some of these folks that worked in those factories, and it was interesting. But that was just one particular book. I could certainly read more and be more educated on that topic to really be able to give you guys an excellent discussion on things like that. But that's just a little bit outside of my realm, so I really can't comment. But it would be great if everybody got paid a living wage. That would be awesome, you know. But yeah, let's see. Announcing a price increase might be incentivizing people to buy now, tricking customers into clearing dead inventory. That's a possibility. That is a possibility. But from what I understand, most of the games on here are already pretty good sellers. So let's go ahead and I want to move. Well, not me. This. Yeah, let's move that down. No, you know what? Let's move that up. We'll move this down. No, me. There. No. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. All right, that's what I want. There we go. That's how I want this, right? Kind of like that. Yeah, and let's bring that to the foreground a little bit more. Okay. So, as we can see, we've got lots of different prices, right? So they basically, there's a whole Excel spreadsheet on some of the stuff that is getting price increased, and I just grabbed a couple of screenshots because I wanted to be able to talk about some of these. As you can see, like even older products like Imperial Assault are going up. Like Imperial Assault is going up from 99 to 109. Rebellion, the board game, is going up from 99 to 109. Rise of the Empire is going up from 39 to 44. All right, so so those are interesting. This one's about 10%. This one's just a little under, a little more than 5, so about 6 or 7%, or something like that, right? Well, no, about 10%. Well, no, close to it. 10% of 40 would be 4. So if it went up 4, but it went up $5, so maybe like a what, 12%? I don't know. 12, 13% or something like that in my head. So it's not exactly the same for everyone. Like they picked a certain price point that wouldn't seem, too egregious. Outer Rim goes up $10. Outer Rim went up a pretty decent amount, which was because if that was, it went up $10, whereas $100 games are going up $10. That one's only like a $65 game that went up $10, and that one doesn't even have miniatures. So it's strange to me that Outer Rim went up by the same margin that Rebellion went up, and Rebellion has a lot of plastic miniatures. So that's just weird to me, So very strange. But yeah. So let's see. I didn't see the X-Wing Raider listed. No, the X-Wing Raider is not on here. That's just one of those weird things, right? The fact that they have still so much X-Wing 1.0 inventory is really interesting, because there's X-Wing 1.0 stuff on here too. There's a lot of X-Wing 1.0 stuff on here, and I think it's actually quite fascinating. So, Armada is seeing some pretty interesting price increases. Our Superstar Destroyer here going up $40. Peter says, did anyone else catch the Star Wars Armada Explained live stream today? I was playing Armada today, so could not watch live. I did catch a few minutes of it this evening, but I did not catch the whole thing. But if you guys haven't already, check out the SWAE channel, and Karnak runs that channel. He is also the Star Wars Armada lead judge for all the other tournaments. He currently works as the AMG rules guy, the rules moderator. So yeah, he's got some interesting things to talk about over there. So yeah, but I did check that one out today for just a little bit. We got a super chat from Jason Atkins. Jason, you get a mini crab.
Hey, what's going on?
Boom, 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 boom. All right, thank you, Jason, for the support. Jason says, Rebellion and Rise of the Empire would be good things to get before the price hike. Great game, guys and gals. It is. Rebellion might be the greatest game of all time. With Rise of the Empire. Might be. I was actually talking to some people, and I said, some of the former FFG folks, and I was like, man, I wish they would remake Rebellion, like a second edition for Rebellion. Not that it needs, not that it's not good, but like my version of Rebellion, I need to get another version. I might have to do that at some point, because some of my cards, we play it so much, some of the cards are getting worn. I should probably just sleeve them, but I know, like, I have this, there's this curse that I have that is if I sleeve the game, I'm never going to play it again. Every game I have sleeved, I play like maybe one more time and then it's over. Then it's done. So I'm trying not to curse myself out of this game that I love so very, very, very much. And I don't make that much content on it. And maybe that's one of the things I like about it, because like so many of my games, I get in the business of like, all right, how am I going to report on this game? What strategies do I need to keep in mind? What lessons learned am I going to have in this? Is this going to inform another video? Do I need to record this? Blah, blah, blah. All these things go through my head when I'm doing gaming. But like when I play Rebellion, I mean, sometimes I take a picture, but yeah, Rebellion is always a really good time. It's something I could probably play once a month for the rest of my life and never have a bad game. I only had one bad game of Rebellion, and that was where where we would. Is it a good party game? No, it's a good 1 versus 1 game. Don't ever play it more than 1 versus 1. It's not truly a 4-player game. It says it is, but no. Yeah, each playthrough is different, has great replayability. I would love for them to do. So here's an idea I had for Rebellion, because now this is probably only going to make sense to people who played Rebellion a lot. But what if they did a version, like a second edition of Rebellion, or had this option to kind of play as the early Empire, and you start off, instead of starting off with Star Destroyers, you start off with like a couple of Venators and Architons. It's the stuff that the early Empire had, but you can't make those anymore. And so, and maybe they're maybe they're good in their own way. Maybe they're worth keeping around, or maybe they get a new color of dice, right? Maybe they have blue dice, and and they're not great, but they're decent, right? And kind of like how the green dice are. And maybe the Venators and Architons, if you're able to keep them around long enough, and and then you get your full out, you get a benefit because your maximum dice pool is now increased because you can now add blue dice. Like maybe you have a cap of 5 blue dice or something like that. So like that would be a pretty cool thing, I think. So like they're not as good as the other ships, but if you can keep them around, they can really help bolster your forces. So I don't know. I thought that would be a kind of a cute little thing. It wouldn't require a whole lot of rules changes just to add something small like that. But yeah, I love Rebellion. I love it. It's fun from every time as soon as you set up. All right, here's where we're going to be. Okay, now I get to pick the rebel base. Oh, you deployed. All right, let's see where you deploy. All right. Now I get to pick the rebel base. So you're having fun from before the game even starts. Just when you're setting up is fun. Like, oh, how's this game going to go? How's it going to be? So I love it. Really fun game. But yeah, that's one of those games that's getting price increases. Starhawk's going up a lot. From $79 to $94.99. The starters are going up only $10. Now that's an interesting thing. So the starters are going up less than some other ships are, and it's a big box. So I think on something like the Starhawk, they're trying to make that more of a luxury item. Maybe they're going to make a little more profit on like a Starhawk sale or an SSD sale. But the starters, maybe they don't need to make as much profit off of those because, hey, you buy a starter, hopefully you buy more, right? I think that's kind of a little bit of the mindset there, because I would imagine the starters might have gone up more than just 10%, because they went up 10%. Technically, they went up 10.004% or something like that, right? Because they went up. If it was just 10%, if it was just $10 increase, it would be $109.95. But they went up 4 cents on top of that, so $10.04. Outer Rim is really good too. It's just dying for an expansion. Yeah. Yes, it is. So, the old G Trilogy starter is going up $20. Yep. We've got so we got some more stuff. We got X-Wings, got a lot of stuff. Now this is all X-Wing First Edition stuff. A lot of the X-Wing First Edition stuff is also going up. Saw's Renegades. It's kind of funny to me, some of the stuff. Like Saw's Renegades is going up quite a bit, right? Wait a second. Didn't you guys make so many of those that you deliberately like have the 2.0 versions of the Reaper and Saw's Renegades like sitting on a shelf somewhere? You know? Interesting. And yeah, so like that's really fun. I don't see I don't know. Then of course, Most Wanted, the Force Awakens core set. I mean, who would even buy? Like, is there even any reason to buy that right now? Like, I don't know. Like that's one of those things that was basically a peg warmer. And I think you were getting Force Awakens core sets for like $8 at some point. Like, why are they $50? Like, I hope they're not still making Force Awakens core sets. And so this makes me wonder, with all the X-Wing 1.0 stuff, are they even printing these anymore? I don't think they're making these anymore. I think they just have a whole lot of them in warehouses. I don't know. Where is this list of increases at? You know what, dude? I'm gonna put a link into chat, so you guys can follow along with me if you like. There you go. Boom, 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 boom. It's time for Mini Crab.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, what's going
All right.
on?
Get out of here. Get. All right. But yeah. So and then we also have X-Wing Second Edition conversion kits are going up. So now if you want to buy your 1.0 stuff and get into 2.0, it's going to be even more expensive there. I get it. Now, I'm running through all of these to really point out a couple of interesting things. By the way, right? You notice like other $99 items, like where the starters only went up like $10, whereas the big ships went up $20. You know, again, luxury item, right? They're trying to make a little bit more money off the Tantive V4 and the Sea Rock. So I would expect these new prices and this new rate of pricing to be automatically applied to everything going forward. Now, this was also one of the problems for Armada. Now, I've been talking a lot more about Armada lately because Armada had, the bad news of not having anything in development. And that's, it is nice that Asmodee was, and that AMG were very polite enough to be honest with us about that. That's great. The problem that I have, and I've heard people say this, we had this big talk with LJ Pena from Legion community, and he had said this multiple times. He's like, you wanted news, and you got news. I'm like, okay, that's a lot to unpack, because my big problem with that news is that was the news that would have been useful like a year ago, right? At this point, after you've had the game and the license and you've hired people and you've been kind of doing spoilers for the last wave, and then all this time has gone by. This doesn't mean that you're just not working on anything right now. This is what that announcement means. That announcement also meant that you weren't working on anything for the last 9 months. And that's why I think it stings so bad, because it takes a long time for Armada product or any of these games to get designed, sculpted and licensing approval, and then internally play tested, and then revealed to external play tested and tweaked and spell checked, and then then submitted final versions, and then sent over into manufacturing, and then get printed, and then get shipped, and then priced, and then come back to the United States, and then whole shipping delays and all this stuff. So that's why you're looking at a year and a half up to 2 or in some cases even 3 years for certain products. Like that, the Superstar Destroyer took forever. And so I think that whole, like, yeah, it was honest, but it was also honest as like, hey man, I murdered your whole family. I mean, I hope you appreciate my honesty. I'm like, that's it's not the same thing, right? So it's a terrible example too. It's a terrible example. I've clearly had too much scotch, so it's time for mini crab again.
What's going on?
Time for mini crab. Mm-hmm. All right. So, what's going on, JJ? How you guys doing in chat? Thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. We're talking about some of these price increases. And I guess my overall point for all of these things going up is that this is happening all across the board. I know that there's lots of other smaller companies than Asmodee that are reporting that as a result, even with doing a price increase, there's some entire lines that are going to generate zero profit whatsoever. And that's rough, man. Completely breaking even on when imagine you're a small company and you ran a Kickstarter, and you've already collected pledges, and you've got this is what this game's going to cost you $50, and then with $20 for shipping, it's going to be $70 you pay. Boom. And just bit my tongue. Not too bad though. It'll be okay. So you pay. No, you pay, and then you find out like much later that oh, by the way, you know how we told you it was going to be $20 for shipping? It's actually going to be $200 for shipping for each item. You're like, the game was only $50. How you can tell me it's going to cost me $200 per item to ship it here? It's not all that much, but it really depends on the size of the box and things that you kind of went into a project with a certain thing. So there's a lot of companies that are just like, you know what, the thing that you pledged for, it's not coming. It may never come. It's going to probably sit over, in a warehouse in China forever, and then they'll probably destroy them all after it's been there for 10 years or whatever. Now, if shipping costs come down, then we'll try and get it to you. But and if that was your startup, if that was your first game, that you're supposed to make a name for yourself. Now you just made a terrible name for yourself because you collected funds on a Kickstarter that can't ever be fulfilled. Now you're gonna have all these angry people that don't understand really what's going on. And so I've been learning more about this by kind of talking to more publishers and everything. And it's it's rough. It's rough. It's hard to get started into this. And sometimes I feel like I don't know that much about shipping companies, but on the surface it seems like the shipping companies are taking advantage. And it stinks. It definitely stinks. So let's see what else is going on. How you guys all doing in chat? Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. We're talking about the shipping prices increased. I posted a link earlier up in chat if you wanted to check out all of the updated prices yourself. But we were looking at some of them. Basically, to summarize, Asmodee put out this big ol' notice, and they said, "Hey guys, prices are going up. Prices are going up quite a bit." And but it's not consistent, right? Like some of the more luxury purchases are going up more. Some of the higher dollar item purchases are going up more. A lot of your entry level stuff, a lot of your starters are only looking at about a 10% increase, whereas a lot of your optional items are getting the 15% or in some cases even 20% increases, like your Superstar Destroyer for Armada. That one hurts going up $20, 20%, so it's $40. Now, granted, it's a beautiful item. You run it, you might just win a tournament. I mean, dude, Superstar Destroyers are good, and they're not that great, but they can certainly be beaten. But a lot of people don't expect you to run them, and they're so much fun. I ran a double onager list for today for a Star Wars Armada event, or our 2-round tournament. So apparently, me running 2-round tournaments somehow means I'm unqualified to talk about Star Wars Armada and to promote the game, according to certain people. And I really shouldn't get annoyed at certain people, but people have a lot to say when they're behind their computers, and I usually don't really like to talk to somebody online in a way that I wouldn't talk to them in real life. I think we should kind of conduct ourselves on the internet the same way we would conduct ourselves in real life. So even if somebody's really mad at you, I'm like, are you really ready to fight this person, or would you rather just keep it civil? As I'd usually rather keep it civil, and that's usually how I do things. But man, I started to get really annoyed, and I shouldn't. I really shouldn't let it get to me. But some people just, I don't know. But basically, with in regards to the entire Armada controversy, there was some stuff going on a while ago, and just there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of efforts out there to do like community events and community content. We need to keep this game going and all of that. And the game is going. It just had a ton of content come out. Tons of content compared to how often we normally get like 1 or 2 products a year, or every year and a half or so. And we just had like 8, 9 products and a whole new rule set. Like the game is like completely, like if you were juggling, it's like 15 apples you were juggling. You just threw them all up in the air. There's no telling where it's going to land, So I think there's a ton of content out there right now. Now, maybe a year from now, maybe 2 years from now, things may start to get stale, right? So instead of jumping into community-made content just yet, I think one of the smarter things to do is continue just to play the game as is, and kind of explore the Clone Wars content, kind of explore the new upgrades and the new cards that the Clone Wars have brought to the original factions. Also, like salvoing Star Destroyers now is a really cool new thing. There's a whole lot of that sort of stuff, plus all the new rules changes, points, erratas, different ways to run gunnery teams. Can you still run a Super Star Destroyer? How's Tarkin now? How's Leia now? Has anybody tried the new Constantine? All kinds of cool stuff like that. There's lots of interesting things that we can go back and look at with all the years of content that we already have that now all are different because of a new rule set. Are Corellian Corvettes more survivable now because of the added utility of evade tokens and the fact that they have 2 of them? So maybe a heavy CR90 build is a lot more tanky than it used to be. A lot of things like that. I think there's a load of content in the game. But maybe a year from now, if we're playing all this content, the game might start to get stale. Well, I think instead of coming up with like, well, here's my Lucre Hulk Dreadnought wave or whatever, maybe we keep playing the content we have and just explore some new options. So I was talking about, trying to push a kind of a, hey, let's start playing 600-point games more at a certain point next year, maybe a year from now, to kind of spice things up a little bit. And of course, some people just lost their minds at that suggestion. Like, how dare you, sir? This game is balanced for 400 points that will completely break certain objectives and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, cool, then don't play it, man. I mean, there's already Sector Fleet. FFG created the game. FFG created rules and points for stuff and multiple point. They even officially sanctioned 600, 800, 1,000, and 1,200 point formats. It's called Sector Fleet. Plus, you can play whatever point value you want. And nobody's, and so somebody, with regards to the fact that we run monthly 2-round tournaments here in Orlando, said, well, maybe instead of spending your time playing 2-round tournaments, you should learn to play the game like the rest of the community does, because clearly, you don't know how the game is played because you don't play 3-round tournaments or something like that. And I was, and I'm paraphrasing because it wasn't those exact words, but it was very much condescending. And it was just, yeah. And to be fair, and I don't know how many of you watching play in a lot of tournaments versus how many people play kind of just casually. I know that generally in any type of gaming community, your people who travel and go to tournaments, especially 3-round events, which tend to be semi-important tournaments that usually involve at least a little bit of travel, that does not reflect the majority of the player base. It's usually a minority of the player base that travels and goes to big tournaments. And most people tend to do casual play in their homes, maybe the occasional meetup in a game store. But most people, I would wager, aren't tournament players. And I think that's the beauty of a 2-round tournament, is because it's a lot more accessible how many people have families and stuff, and then maybe they can't be gone for 18 hours on a Sunday, but they can be gone for 5, right? And so a 2-round tournament kind of allows that. How many people have, just don't have the time, or maybe the wherewithal to be on their feet all day long, or versus being on their feet for only half the time, So having, shorter 2-round tournaments really appeals to a lot of folks, at least around here. People who do it love it. John Smith, Super Chat. Thank you for Super Chat. You get a mini crab.
Hey,
Tell them how it's done. All right, get out of here, mini crab. You're done. And the reason we're doing mini crab today is because this being a triple critical, it's we're 50%. Because the price increases, we needed to compensate with an increase in critical, so we decided to go for a 50% critical increase for the triple critical, and also 50% more crab. Hence the little mini crab. And John Smith says, "Sorry, I'm late. Happy Labor Day. Happy Labor Day to you, John Smith." You want a mini crab with your Scottish voice? I'll work on that. I'll be honest with you. Mini crab, I only spent about 6 weeks working on that idea. Or 6 seconds. I'll let you be the judge. It's one of those two. It's either 6 weeks or 6 seconds. So, I tell you what, if I actually had some time and professionalism, I could turn this channel into a world of excellence. But I'm very, very lazy, so I don't. But yes. Anyway, let's go. No whammies, right? All right. So yeah, I think we kind of been through a lot of the prices. I posted a link in chat earlier. If you want to scroll up, you can find it in there. But yeah, look, the prices are going up just across the board, and it's not just Asmodee, it's everywhere. I think it's a good idea for Armada, because if it didn't exist, if they didn't include Armada in this, then that would be much worse. That would be like, if you notice, Rune Wars isn't on here. Destiny isn't on here. All those products that are still on shelves in places, like those aren't on here, right? Armada's not dead, as indicated by its price increase to remain profitable and therefore sustainable. So yeah, so that's where we're at. That's what's going on. And let's go ahead and let's turn some things off. Turn that off, and let's do this too. Nope. Here we go. There we go. We got things back to normal. So we got some more things to talk about, and of course we'll talk to the chat a little more too. Because we have mini Stravaganza coming up in a few days. That starts Thursday. So it starts Thursday on. Oh, let's see. Crabbok, I was wondering, are you going to do any videos on how to set up your own game setup for X-Wing? Because it's my first time playing the game, and I bought the first and second series. Oh gosh. So setting up your own game setup for X-Wing, I mean, there's a standard setup for X-Wing. There's lots of how to play X-Wing videos. I mean, I haven't done a whole lot of like instructional videos for X-Wing 2nd Edition, and I don't know, because I've kind of been covering Legion and Armada more, because I think those are two of my favorite games. So, but I mean, I do have how to play X-Wing, and that's going off of 1st edition. It's mostly the same. There are a few rules changes, but that's mostly the rules that you're going to go by. So not too much has changed for there. I do have like a how 2nd edition is different video. As table setup, well, you just lay down a mat and follow the setup rules. You lay out objectives, obstacles. You pick your 3. Your opponent brings their 3. You set them aside. You see who's got the most points. I don't understand what table setup really means there, unless you're now. I'll say this: it's nice to have some drinks and snacks if you're playing at home. I usually like to have snacks like some kind of snacks. Like for me, Little Debbie brownies. It's probably my favorite. Little Debbie brownies are really, really good. Or any kind of, or Reese's peanut butter cups. Honestly, if we're at a convention and you bring me Reese's peanut butter cups, I'll probably be your friend. Like we can hang out, you know, because I can't turn down Reese's peanut butter cups. I love Reese's peanut butter cups. I love them a lot. Reese's. Are you interested in a sponsorship, Reese's? Because I love Reese's peanut butter cups.
Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, the greatest chocolatey peanut buttery snack in the entire galaxy. When you need a snack, make sure it's a Reese's.
See, I can do all kinds of things. And that's just how I honestly feel. That's what you want, right? You want people who honestly love your product, and I only accept sponsors on stuff that I actually love, like Luxury Playstyle. Like Luxury Playstyle, who has gotten their new tokens. Who's gotten their new tokens? Oh my gosh! Luxury Playstyle, Crabbok VIP, oh my gosh! So, anyway. I'm in a goofy mood tonight. Mini Crab. Mini Crab, wrong side. There he is, there he is. What are you doing, Mini Crab? And he'll just keep doing that. He'll just keep doing that all day. I'm in a good mood because tomorrow's a holiday. Happy Labor Day, everybody. So let's talk a little bit about Mini Stravaganza. So Mini Stravaganza is definitely coming up, and it's look, I'm a little upset that there's no Armada events, but I wasn't expecting Armada events, right? I definitely was not. Will Luxury Playstyle ever release Legion tokens? Yes. I'm designing them, co-designing. But yes, I am working directly on the Legion line, which is coming along very nicely. There is going to be multiple waves of Legion tokens, so the entire set will not be out right away. Will not be out right away. What you are going to see is the first set of tokens, and then not long after that, you'll see another set of tokens. And we're aiming for November. So that's currently the goal. So maybe sooner, maybe later. Shipping is sometimes difficult, right? And so having now worked on something that is now going to be, you know, something that you want to design, and then having to make certain compromises because of the manufacturing process only allows for certain things, and so you can't do it this way because that won't work because of manufacturing reasons. It's been very illuminating and eye-opening, and it gives me a newfound respect for anyone who has to design physical products that will be manufactured in some type of factory. It's very interesting, and so I like that. It's been very eye-opening. But yes, so no, Legion tokens are absolutely coming. I think the first wave is going to be order tokens right now, and then with other tokens coming afterwards, like aim, dodge, things like that. We have quite a few already done, with more in the works. So, yeah, no, it's going to be really exciting. I'll be honest with you, because I have so many tokens right now for Legion. I keep always punching out all this cardboard, right? And this is one of the things I didn't like about any game that has just lots and lots of cardboard. I could end up with so much cardboard. I would love to just have, these are the tokens that I need, and all the cardboard can go in this bag. Like I have like a bag where I just throw all the cardboard in. And that's great. Armada tokens. Armada tokens I would love to do. I think there is some risk because there are costs that go into product development. And so I think there are some other people that want a little bit more assurances from AMG about Armada's future before ventures into making Armada tokens happen, to prioritize those over other games that are still supported. So I would expect something like Marvel Crisis Protocol tickets, tokens before Armada tokens. Not that I love Marvel Crisis Protocol, but Armada's my baby, right? So me personally, I'm biased. I'm pushing for Armada, but I don't think it's going to happen right away. But I'm gonna keep pushing. I pushed for Legion for a long time, and now it's happening. So that's really cool, and it has a lot to do with you guys too. Anybody who has ordered from Luxury Playstyle, you will have. You've probably had that little survey. So if you do want them and you order some stuff, definitely check out that survey. You can also get one of those Crabbok lightsaber nunchuck tokens, right? You guys, who got one of those? Those are good stuff, man. Who has one of these? Do you have one of these? Let me know in chat. These are awesome. Very few people have these. Not that many. If you want to, like, part of a super secret club, they've got the 5 on the back too. Count your damage. Use them in a role-playing game. Play a Star Wars RPG and be like, well, what should we do with this one? Oh, light side. I guess we will help you solve the mission. Yes, I will go rescue the children. Good thing it weren't dark side, or I'd have pulled an Anakin Skywalker on those children. So. All right. Does it worry you that there was a large increase when X-Wing 2.0 was released 3 years ago, and they're doing it again? No. Not at all. Prices need to increase because costs increase. What I wish would happen is that employers would also increase employees' wages at the same time that costs increased, because things should go up like this. The problem is things kind of go up like this, and that makes it really hard for people. Like the cost of everything, even plywood, loaf of bread, everything is going up. It's not, while it's not just Asmodee, it's not just board games, it's not just gaming, it's not just leisure items, it's everything is going up. You're gonna see everything. You're gonna see everything go up in price. So I only wish that wages would also increase accordingly. I was talking to somebody at work, and we had a VP come down and was like meeting with some of us, and he's like, so what is it that what can I do for you? I'm like, more money. And I'm like, and I know that sounds cliche, but look at, cost of homes are going up. They've tripled in the past 2 years. Tripled, especially here in Orlando. Wages haven't tripled, not even close. Wages have stayed exactly the same. How are we supposed to continue to survive in a world where the cost of living is skyrocketing around us? Well, I mean, there's only so much that can happen before everything goes completely crazy and it's bonkers, right? So that would be my wish. That's what troubles me, is that employers don't increase their employees' wages, because then we'd have more money to spend on board games. Have you looked at any storage ideas for Armada, Legion, and other games? There are a lot of storage ideas. Like for Legion, I use Magna Rack sliders from Battle Foam. I don't like having minis like touch foam specifically, but Battle Foam has these racks, and they're metallic racks, and they also slide out. And so I magnetize the bottom of my minis, and I put them all in there, and then slide them in. And you can take that whole shelf system and put it in a bag, and then you can travel with it, and it's all groovy. So I like that, but other people do different things. Some people use foam. I like to have my stuff on display also. Feldher for Armada? Sure. Unless you've done repaints. You have to seal it and you can protect it and stuff like that, but I just don't like the idea of my minis rubbing up against foam, because over time I feel like it's going to rub some of the paint off. Even if you seal it and protect it, I feel like over time, continual rubbing, it's just not going to, I don't know. It irks me. I would do it if I had to, but I have a big old bookshelf, and I just keep all my Armada stuff on the shelf, and then I just throw my stuff in a box when I'm going to go fly, because and that's another reason why I don't go to too many tournaments, because in addition to having a family and lots of kids and lots of responsibilities here, and also a job in addition to all my YouTube and gaming stuff, I just usually don't like trying to bring an army with me in an airport. You look what happened to Luke from Masters of the Fleet, or Masters of the Force, I guess, he was going to a Legion tournament and lost his whole army. So that was rough, man. It was rough. A long time ago, before the world ended, before the dark times, before the COVID. You remember when the sun would rise
Rising on the fields of Armada, new waves were announced every year. And new games, too. We would have Star Wars Legion, Star Wars Destiny, Star Wars, the role-playing game. These are the tales I shall tell my grandchildren.
You know, like, things like that. Anyway, just being silly. But yeah, so all right, so basically mini Stravaganzas next week. I'll be covering it all. We're going to do opening ceremonies. We're going to be doing the X-Wing panel. I mean, it's going to be going from kind of midday all the way up until the evening. I think the X-Wing panel is at 7 p.m. Eastern. So they're doing like a 4 p.m. Pacific. So I'm going to be streaming like all day. It's going to be nuts. I'm probably not going to restream everything. But because they're going to be doing a lot of Marvel Crisis Protocol stuff too. A lot of painting of things that we've already seen. So, you know, just going to be a lot of writing, sitting down, kind of taking notes. All right, what do I need to make a video on to tell people about for after all this is over? I probably won't have daily uploads because if you follow my upload schedule, I usually upload and I have videos ready to go every morning at 7 a.m. Eastern. That's Eastern time, so if you're somewhere else, it's gonna be a different time for you. But I usually try to have a new video same time every day. For mini Stravaganza, I think since I'm going to be doing so many streams, I probably won't be doing those 7 a.m. uploads or 7 a.m. Videos. For that time frame, I'll probably just be doing the live videos during the day. And yeah. Where are the things with the Legends of the Five Rings franchise? I don't know what's going on with Legends of the Five Rings right now. I think they, something happened with that. And honestly, you have me at a loss. I wasn't expecting L5R questions because I don't usually cover L5R. Interesting thing, though. Asmodee had said that AMG was going to have game number 2, and they were working on that. He said that Steve Horvath said that in January of 2020. So here we are now. It's going to be almost 2 years later. Do you think that AMG is going to announce game number 2? I wonder. And what would game number 2 from AMG be? Would it be another licensed game like Marvel? Or would it be something that Asmodee already owns the rights to? Because whatever it is, it has to be a minis game. Because if AMG makes a board game, I will poop bananas. Like, that was the whole point, of moving the Star Wars games over to AMG. So like, anyway, it has to be a minis game. But yeah, it's just crazy, right? So what are they gonna do? Arkham Horror Miniatures War Game case and things. Wow. I don't know, man. I was thinking L5R might be something. I already poop bananas, swirling dragon mist. Okay, man. You know what, man? You do you. Good for you. Good for you. No, so I think an interesting thought. Like, I would love to see. I really liked Rune Wars. I would love to see a Terranoth based IP kind of make its way to another minis game. Maybe they do something slightly different. I would also love to see Star Wars Crisis Protocol. I would love to see a Terranoth kind of pirate ship fleet game. And I would love to see... I think they might do something with, like, the Keyforge universe. Although I don't really like that universe as much. So the game would have to be, like, super amazing. Otherwise, I might just say, you know what, screw that. One thing I can guarantee. No game that they make will have success if I don't cover it. That's not true at all. But that would be cool, right? Wouldn't it be awesome to be like, hey, guys... If that were true, they would probably return my emails. But apparently I am blacklisted. So, they're not only do they not want to talk to me, they're not allowed to talk to me. So, I guess that's just the way it is. I don't know why. Like, I mean, I don't even say anything bad about them. I don't. I like all of their games, even Marvel Crisis Protocol. I'm nothing. It's just it is what it is. They just... I could see Disney making movie game rides. Oh, that would be interesting. Like a fantasy minis game would be interesting. I feel like, I mean, you got Age of Sigmar right now, and I feel like they might want to compete with that, but they already had Rune Wars, so I wouldn't mind a Rune Wars second edition that didn't have the trays and actually used real terrain. I think if they can make another minis game that uses real terrain, they can kind of capitalize on all of the terrain communities that have rallied around games like Legion and Marvel Crisis Protocol, and I think that would be a good thing. I doubt that there will be a second game for a while, with Star Wars being dropped on them by Asmodee. Right. However, they had already got a year and a half or more of work put into this game before those games were dropped into their lap. So they may have already had the game at the printers. You know, like they might already have like the second wave of the game done by the time that stuff, you know, like we don't know. You know, Chandler's, what's going on, Chandler? Chandler says, I would like to see a game that really takes advantage of the amazing miniature models that AMG is putting out. You know, they are definitely a models first kind of company, right? Like the amount of models they're putting out for Crisis Protocol is just absurd. They have over 100 heroes for that game already. And then like this latest one, it's like they've got the Doc Ock versus Spider-Man, and it's beautiful. It's freaking gorgeous. And it's just extra models for the game. Like you don't even need to buy it. You just buy it if you really want pretty models. And like, that's cool, man. That's really cool. And it's like, it's actually giving me like, do I get this? Oh, and that's a great problem to have, right? It's a great problem to have. Like, do I get this? I don't know. And what's going to happen someday, like when somebody gets in and like, oh, all right, I'm looking to get into Marvel Crisis Protocol. Okay, there's only like 200 expansions, so like, you know, to get caught up, it's only going to cost you like you're going to have to take out a mortgage on your home. You know, like that's going to be the problem if they keep going this fast. I think they need to slow down with Marvel Crisis Protocol, honestly, but I don't know what they know, and I'm not an expert in the specifics of you know, game production and manufacturing and long term. How do we keep, you know, like, look, I think the way Armada has it is great, because somebody wants to get into Armada. I'm like, okay, get yourself a starter and like 2 or 3 ships, you're in. Get a card upgrade collection, you're good to go. You know, like it's real. I can get you started with Armada for $200 or less. I mean, we'll probably get some things on sale. Real easy. But like Marvel Crisis Protocol, I mean, granted, you can get started. Like we can get you a starter for $100, and then you have at least some heroes and stuff. But if you wanted to if you were a completionist, it'd be a whole lot easier to complete Armada than it would any other game. You know, I mean, Armada's been out longer than almost any game out there for Asmodee. You know, that's, you know, gets expandable games. X-Wing's the only one, and technically X-Wing died, so it's X-Wing second edition. So Armada's like their oldest running game, has also the fewest expansions. So go figure that. That doesn't make any sense to me, but whatever. You know, I think they just charged too little. It has long been said by former FFG people that Armada was priced too conservatively at the beginning, like it was too cheap at the beginning, and then as costs rose, that profit margin that was always thin shrank and shrank and shrank and shrank and shrank and shrank, and now it's like unsustainable. So that's why they had to do the boost. But I don't even know. I was expecting at least a 30 to 35% increase for Armada. I'm surprised they went as narrow as they did. Star Wars Crisis Protocol, man, Marco. Star Wars Crisis Protocol. I would love to see like you know, a really fun and you know, just fun gaming first kind of you know, version of Marvel Crisis Protocol. It's just Star Wars character, and make it compatible. Make it compatible. Let Darth Vader join the Guardians of the Galaxy. Let's do it, man. Lego can do it. Why can't AMG? You know, Peter says, Crabbok, you said something about a new Armada, one that feels like flying more of an Armada. If that was to happen, do you think it would be a new game, or do you think massive points adjustments? It has happened. It's called Drop Fleet Commander. Although I haven't even played that game yet, so I'm still kind of reading over the rules. But if you watch my video from this morning, Drop Fleet Commander is you're actually commanding an armada. You're commanding a huge fleet. You're looking at, you know, like the starter comes with 7 ships per faction. And that's about and if you compare that to the starters for Armada, where you get like 1 ship for the Empire and 2 for the Rebellion. You know, so you're probably gonna be running at least 20 ships, right? For a lot of standard point games. So sometimes a lot more than that. But you put them in the battle groups, so you're not trying to hand out 20 individual commands and orders and stuff like that. You like, hey, maybe I got 4 battle groups maybe, and they each have 5 ships or so in them. And so you're activating groups instead of individual ships. So it makes so you can actually play the game without having to make it take 24 hours. Yeah, Dropfleet Commander is a really good deal if you just get one. Because and Chandler, if you're looking at it, I won't guarantee anything just yet, but I have a pretty good feeling I'm going to like this game. And for folks in Orlando too, like I'm down to play, especially at CCG2 or Sci-Fi City or wherever. Like I'm down to do like meetups and play and stuff like that. If it catches on, then great, and we can keep it going. But even if it's only like, I think you'll have a good time just building fleets and painting fleets, and that's what I'm doing with new games right now. I'm approaching them at, let's hobby it first, and then if I have fun with the hobbying aspect and making some beautiful ships, because the ships in Dropfleet Commander are freaking gorgeous. Like, they're insanely gorgeous. Like, I really like the UCM, but then there's the PHR, which I think are, I'm unsure if I'm going to be UCM or PHR. I'm not sure which one I'm going to like the better. But I'm going to be doing more stuff with painting. I just finished putting together the entire 2-player starter set, and I've got more boxes to unbox and show you guys. I actually have a little preview. I haven't even unboxed them yet, but I've got starters for each of the factions. And the 2-player starter set is a small starter for UCM and Scourge, but there's like a full like a battle fleet kind of starter that has like more kind of like how the Clone Wars starters are, how they have more like that for like the Resistance, and then the PHR, and then there's this other hedgehog race, and they have the ships look like they came out of the sun. So I've got more of those, so you can see what's in those starters too, and I'll be working on those over the next couple of weeks. Because what I want to try and do is, since they're all on a sprue, I don't want to just do an unboxing and then be like, here's the sprue. Like, I want to do an unboxing and then stop and put at least one ship together, maybe more, so that you can kind of see what that fleet's aesthetic is going to look like. And granted, I can just show you the back of the box, but you kind of want to see the minis too, right? So it takes me a little bit more time if I'm actually like printing out the rule sheet, because one of the things that makes that game so cheap, cheap is a bad word, but realistically, that makes it inexpensive, is that they really cut a lot of costs. Like, the rules are online, the instructions to put your stuff together is online. The key thing is they're actually online. Unlike with Legion, all the fantasy flights, like, hey, and find the instructions online. I'm like, there ain't no instructions online. So that was always really funny. But yeah, so I'm gonna be covering the mini Stravaganza Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and then I'll probably do a wrap up video on Sunday. And there's a lot of empty space on Friday, and that makes me think that they are going to have that game number 2 or some other secrets to talk about on Friday. As much as I would love to say maybe there's a surprise Armada panel on Friday, I don't think that's going to be the case. I wish there would be. Hey AMG, if you're watching, man, if you want me to come on, we could talk Armada. I'll be totally positive. Don't worry. I'm a fan of you guys. So, but yeah, if you want to work together, I make a much better ally than an enemy. The one who's the bad enemy, this guy right here.
What's going on?
Mini Crab. He's crazy. You don't want to make an enemy of a Mini Crab. This guy is insane. I can't get rid of him. Get out. Go.
All right. Anyway, 50% more critical, 50% more crab. That's the triple critical. Only happens once in a generation. But yeah. All right, guys. Well, I think that's going to do it for today's triple critical. Hopefully you guys had a good time, and I appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. Also, check out Star Wars Armada Explained channel. Karnak did an Ask Me Anything today. He was talking a lot about stuff. his if you want to get different, I have to go back and watch more of it, so I can't really say too much about it. But you guys have a fantastic evening. I want to thank you all for watching. Always remember, never to sword fight with your friends unless you dull the blades first, because they could be pretty messy. All right, big thanks to my patrons. You guys are amazing. And I couldn't do this without you, so thank you for your continued support. If you want to find out more information, check those links in the description below. Love to have you in the Discord, and we'll be doing some giveaways next week as well, so stay tuned for that. Thank you so much, and